Do you struggle to remember to change your furnace filter regularly? Probably not, because you're a responsible adult. Well, we're happy for you, but I'm not. And I don't remember to change my furnace filter until it's so clogged up that it gets sucked into the blower fan compartment and starts making funny sounds. That is really not good for your furnace or your marriage, so I need a new system to remind me to change it. Now, I know a lot of you are like, oh, just get notifications on your phone. Well, that doesn't work because number one, I don't remember to set the notifications, and number two, I ignore the notifications. So I need a system that is impossible to ignore, a system that will make my life a living hell until I physically come down here and change the filter. And that is where this comes into play. This is a Zooz Open Close sensor. I've installed it actually on the cover of my furnace filter. So it's gonna trigger my hub anytime the filter gets changed. And with that, I can build a bunch of automations around it. 60 days after I change the filter, I'm gonna get a notification on my phone that says, hey, time to change the filter. If I don't change the filter within 24 hours, things are gonna escalate. Lights are gonna be flashing, sounds are gonna be made. It's gonna be annoying. It's gonna be a hell to live here. And until I come down here and change the filter.
You shall all be punished until the task is complete.
So let me show you how I did it. So we're building this in a Homey Pro Advanced flow, and there's basically 3 parts to this, and that's one of the things I like about these advanced flows. You got a huge canvas, you can do multiple things on one screen. So we got our 60-day reminder here. This is where the things that will happen when it's 60 days from the last time we changed the filter. Then there's the part where when we do change the filter, it resets the reminder. So we're going to build an automation here. And then if we ignore our 60-day reminder, we have a bunch of things that are going to happen. We're going to call that the bring the pain section. But let's start with our 60-day reminder here. Okay, so we're going to start with using our chronograph timer. When this reminder is finished, so we're gonna send a message, time to change the furnace filter. You have 24 hours before things get weird, and we're gonna send that to me. Now, at the same time, I'm giving 24 hours notice to change the filter. We need to create another timer. So now we've got a new 24-hour warning. Give me 24 hours to replace the filter before, like I said, things are going to get weird. Now, in order to indicate whether the filter has been changed or not, I'm going to use a variable. I already created it because I already made this automation. You can see our variable here is this furnace filter change, yes or no. So this uses a logic card, and we're going to set a variable that's a yes, no. So set yes, no variable. So what it's saying is that when the 60-day reminder timer has finished, we're going to send a notification to my phone to say, you better change this in next day. We're going to start a new timer for that 24 hours, and we're going to set our variable that the furnace filter is changed to no, it's not been changed. And basically when that gets flipped to yes, it prevents all the other bad things from happening. So now we need to create the things that will happen when the filter has been changed. Again, we're using the contact sensor here for this. So when the contact alarm is turned on, that's our trigger right there, or our when. We want a bunch of things to happen. We want the furnace filter variable to change. We want to change that to yes. So now that's going to indicate for all future things that the furnace filter has now been changed. We want to stop our 24-hour timer. We want to start a new 60-day timer. We're also going to send a notification to my phone again. We'll duplicate this and just change the text just to notify me that everything has been reset. Again, when we open the furnace filter, the contact alarm is going to turn on. It's going to stop the 24-hour timer, reset our 60-day timer, so we'll get another notification in 60 days following this logic here, and I get a notification telling me that that has happened. So that's for you normal people that would actually do things when you just get a warning. I'm not that guy, so I need some consequences here for if I ignore the warning. So what we need to have happen here is when the 24-hour timer, if it expires, we need to set a series of things in motion. And I'm giving myself one more chance to change that filter. So what I need to do is we're going to give myself 10 minutes to perform the task. So we're going to add a delay here of 10 minutes. After that 10 minutes is up, we want it to check to make sure that I haven't changed the filter. That's where that logic comes in. We're going to say if the furnace filter has been changed, if it's equal to yes, then we're not going to continue. But if it's a no, let's start with some sound here, people. Now you can use your Amazon Alexa, you can use other things. I have a Sonos speaker here that we're going to play a sound here. So you get some selections here in Sonos. We're going to play this evil laugh, and that takes about 5 seconds. So we're going to add another delay here. And then I'm going to make an announcement. Pete has failed the simple task of changing the furnace filter. For his failure, you shall all be punished until the task is complete. To top it off, I have also created a song that will play. I'll put that in the comments below, a link to it if you want to download it. But it's a song about how you should change your filter, and it's very annoying.
Go change the filter. Don't make me shout. It takes 5 minutes. Just swap it out.
During this time, I have a bunch of LED lights. I want them to turn to flash red and then off, red and off, and do that throughout the duration of the entire song. The easiest way to do this is to use mood, which is a cool feature in the Homey Pro. So I just went on my phone and I created the moods. I selected, I think it was 14 lights here. Set the lights like you want them, and I have them all set for red at full power. I created a mood as an alert mood, and then I saved that, and then I create a second mood where I just turned all the lights off, and that's my alert off mode. So all I have to do is switch between those two moods instead of constantly putting all these cards out here, which just makes my life a lot easier. Here's where the Loops app comes in handy. What we want to do is start a loop and run it X number of times. So I'm going to hold off on the number of times and the delay between them until we figure out the math here. So we're starting this loop here, but we want to create what that loop is. So we're going to add a new loop card, and this is a when loop card because it's a trigger here. So we're saying when the loop iterates. So every time this card says, hey, do a loop, that's an iteration. All right, so I want to pick the loop iterates. We're going to pick the furnace filter lights loop. So if we iterate this 10 times, every time, this is what's going to happen. What we want to do is when this iterates, we're going to turn that on. We're going to have them stay on for 3 seconds. So I'm going to add a delay here of 3 seconds, and then it'll turn off. So now if we want to have 3 seconds on, 3 seconds off, we're going to say up here, we're going to add this to 6 seconds. This is going to start this thing here every 6 seconds. So we got a nice 3 seconds on, 3 seconds on loop here that we have created. So in order for this to reach 3 minutes worth of time, we need to iterate this 30 times. Delay is 6 seconds. 30 times 6 is 180 seconds. That is the length of this song right here. It's going to be perfect. So what we've created here is this will only happen one time. What we want to have happen is we want this to happen over and over and over again until I change the freaking filter or drive my family to leave me. So what we're going to do that is use yet another chronograph countdown. We're going to start a new timer. This is our filter punishment loop timer. And we have this a duration of 3 minutes. Okay, so we've got this timer now. This is going to start at the same time as the loops, and it starts at the same time as the sound. And when that 3 minutes is up, we want to check again to see if the furnace filter has been changed. If it is not, we're going to go through the same cycle again. So we need to add, again, using the chronograph. So when our filter punishment loop is finished, we are going to check the furnace filter. Is it changed? If yes, nothing's going to happen. If no, we're going to run through this again. We're going to start the loop again for the lights. We're going to play the sound. We're going to play the voice. We're going to play the playlist. This is going to happen over and over again until I change the filter. Kind of cool, huh? So now that we've got our punishment side over here, when we change the filter, we want all of this to stop. So now we added another timer over there. We want that timer to also stop when the filter is changed. So we're going to stop the filter punishment loop. So we'll add a line there. And then we also want to stop the sonos speaker. We also want to make sure the lights stop looping. So we're going to go into our loops and we're going to kill the loop named furnace filter lights. And we're going to set the mood, turn the lights all back off. So here we have our finished flow. So every time the furnace filter cover is opened up, the contact alarm turns on. It's going to stop all the other timers. It's going to restart our 60-day timer. And it's going to stop all of the other nonsense if that's happening. One more bonus I want to add. If I use the last filter, I want to make sure I'm reminded to get a new filter. So we're going to create one more automation here. So we're going to use the contact alarm we put on the furnace again. So when we put the cover back on, I'm going to get a notification on my phone. But I don't want this to be just a regular push notification. I want it to ask me a question so I can confirm yes or no. So this is going to be an AND card. So it's going to ask me, did you use the last furnace filter? It's going to send a notification to my phone with a yes or no question. And we're going to say, if I say, yes, I used the last furnace filter, I want it to remind me to get another furnace filter every time I leave the house. And I'm going to do this on a separate flow because what I'm going to do is trigger a new flow, and I already created this other flow. So what I'm going to use here is a then card. If I said yes, I use the last furnace filter, it's going to enable the flow that I've already created, and I'll show you in a second here, which is the purchase filter reminder flow. So in this flow, using the presence sensor of my phone, it's going to give me a notification when I leave the house to remind me to pick up a new furnace filter. I added a presence card and a push notification. While you're out, why not pick up some furnace filters? When I come home, then it's going to ask me, using one of these confirm notification cards, did you get the furnace filter? If I say no, it's going to say okie dokie. It's going to keep pestering every time I leave the house. This flow is going to continue to be active, and every time I leave the house, it's going to remind me to do it. If I say yes, it's going to just disable this flow, so I won't be getting these notifications again until the next time I need to change the filters. Now that I think about it, I should probably add something in that flow so it doesn't trigger when I'm out of town or something, but until I figure that out, you can check out this video here and learn how I automated my water softener so I get notified when it needs more salt. Thanks for watching.
So get off the couch.